So today I want to talk about defining morality. So what is morality anyway?
Right and wrong.
Well, that's kind of obvious from the sign there.
Rules and regulations.
Rules and regulation. And what I want to talk about is not only the morality, right and wrong, but the source of morality. I mean, you really think about it, there's a lot of people, and I think that's why our nation is such a crisis situation, is because people do not know what morality is. Morality deals with ethics, what is right and what is wrong. But there's a lot of people who think that right is wrong and wrong is right, which should be something that is pretty simple. So give me some examples where today some of the things that people are assuming that is morally okay, but it's not.
Like the whole pride thing, LGBT or whatever. That's just, maybe that's covered. That's not
Okay, that's just an acronym of what? L.
Lesbian,
Lesbian, bisexual,
queer,
transgender, and
etc.
we're constantly getting bombarded with this thing. In fact, today I just read an article that talked about how some parents was for helping their child before the child could even express himself, couldn't talk yet, to have that child be a boy when it was a girl. And this whole concept of homosexuality has really basically has destroyed America, I believe. And if you look at history, okay, history tends to repeat itself. And if you look at the different great nations that were at one point of time godly people, one of the things that you will, if you study history, will recognize that because people come up with their own sense of morality, calling good bad and bad good, it tends to turn that country to a corrupt nation to where they end up falling from within. I mean, if you take a look at Rome, or what we used to call the Holy Roman Empire, they basically had control of the whole world. But one of the things that was precursor to their downfall was homosexuality. I mean, we have a country today called Russia. Did you know that Russia used to be a Christian nation? You remember hearing of St. Peter's Cathedral?
Basilica.
Where's that at?
Moscow.
It's in Russia, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
There's a lot of countries that have had Christian background. And when I think about even Japan, and we went through that war, our country went to war with Japan, but Japan had Christian background. How many of you knew that? They call it the tori, which is translated bird, but the bird perch. So those architects of a gateway with the bird perch and the post was basically a Christian symbol. Did you know about that? So I think about today, okay, so what are some other things that people are saying that is good that is really not good? Can't think of any?
There's a lot. I'm just not
Yeah,
there.
like, cohabitation without marriage.
Okay, wow, that's never used to be that way, right? In fact, when you think about the greatness of the origin of the United States of America was based on Christian principles. Now, when you talk about Christian, if you ask, like you do in a poll and you ask people, are you a Christian? A lot of people will say, yes, I'm a Christian. Well, what does that mean? It should mean that you are a follower of Christ, and that when you say you're a follower of Christ, then you will do what Christ asked you to do, right? And that means, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. You will do as I ask you to do. Now, a lot of people look at it as, well, God's this mean old God who makes all these rules. And if we don't follow those rules, God's ready to point his finger and say, naughty, naughty boy, naughty, naughty girl, right? But they don't look at it as the reason why those laws and commandments are there is because God made us, and he knows what is best for us to have the best kind of life that is possible. You know, we talk about sin, which is going against God's will, right? But sin is more than something that is negative as far as doing something immoral. But sin is actually straying away from the perfection that we should be striving for. If we have a goal, let's just say my goal is to go to Rapid City to enjoy a day at Bear Country. What do I have to do to get there?
Take a loan for the fuel?
Yeah, I just filled up my car yesterday, my truck the other day, and half a tank, and it was over $60. That's insane, right? But you do have to have enough fuel to get there.
You have to know your route.
What's that?
Got a plan?
You don't have to just jump in the car and just go.
No, you gotta have GPS or map or.
You have to have your route plan.
You have to have a route plan.
Check the vehicle.
There's some people that just travel and they just go for it, right?
Wing it, yeah.
But if you really want to go to Bear Country, what do you have to do? Well, maybe if you're not so wealthy, you might want to find out, first of all, how much it's going to cost you, right? What else do you have to consider with cost or financing your trip? I mean, you just paid the gas money, right?
Food, stay.
Oh, food.
You gotta check your oil and stuff like that.
Why do you need to worry about food? Especially if you're taking your kids. What is the first thing they're going to say?
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry!
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. I need something to eat. And if you didn't plan, let's just say you don't have a credit card and you don't have any money, what's going to happen when you get there?
They're not going to serve you.
Huh?
They're not going to help you.
You're going to go hold a sign on the street, hungry. Give me some food to eat.
Like those people over.
Call the
You know?
Rapid City Russell.
Huh?
Call the Rapid City Russell.
The Stereo Association.
Yeah.
Food pantry.
Yeah, call the church, right? The problem with America today is we have gotten away from a moral compass. Now, how many of you ever used a compass before? What is a compass anyway?
Tells you directions, north, south, east,
Okay.
west.
Isn't it really strange how a compass works? You ever thought about that? Now I learned about a compass in Boy Scouts. And basically, the purpose for a compass is so that if you go somewhere where you don't know or you're not familiar with the area, then you don't get what?
Lost.
Lost.
Or in a lake,
Have you ever been lost before? Going hiking, ever been lost?
driving.
No? You
Yep,
didn't go somewhere where you didn't know?
In a city,
I get
You
lost
got
all
lost
the
in a
time.
city?
yep,
Okay.
driving.
Now, today it's good because we have this thing called GPS, right? But even the GPS is not always perfect. I mean, I've heard of people traveling, trying to find Alliance, and you know which route the GPS gave them? The back road.
Oh my.
And there's people that have end up in lakes because they followed the GPS.
We ended up in a field once, remember?
So did she.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
So the purpose of the compass is to find out where you are so that you can go in the correct direction. And it's really interesting how, and I don't know if this is just part of God's plan, that He knew that we were going to get lost, so He allowed people to invent the compass. But you really think about it. There's a needle, and it's always pointing where?
North.
North. So that needle's going to point, and if you go down pointing it towards the south, what's going to happen?
It'll turn around.
Huh? You're going to know that you're going south because it says S on that compass, and your needle is going to be pointing north. And if you go east, it's still going to be pointing north. The trouble today is that we as people or citizens of the United States have lost the compass. And so we don't have direction on which way to go in life, and we think that we know where we're going when we don't. And this compass right here, it shows, you know, the compass of good and evil. Wouldn't it be nice that we could hold a compass like this, and when we're doing something, it says we're doing evil, right? I mean, we shouldn't have to have that, right?
Right?
An object to say we're doing something wrong.
Morally wrong?
How many of you have done something that you know is wrong, but you do it anyway?
Oh boy.
Huh?
Not today.
Right, that's it.
And so what my challenge for you today is to understand that there are some guidelines that God has given to us so that we can live a moral life, to live the best life possible, because God has created us and He knows what makes us function and what is best for us. Now, those of you who have had kids, right, know that you want your child to grow up being a good boy or a good girl, right? But what does it do to you when they don't do the right thing?
Go bad.
It upsets you.
Bad parenting.
What kind of example are we setting for our kids?
Do as I say, not as I do.
What are they going to do though?
Right?
They're going to follow in your footsteps. Most people, in fact, how many of you ever said this? I will not do this that my dad has done to me. I will not become like that. Huh? Or my mom. And yet we become products of our parents.
Right? That's what we were talking.
So what do we do about that? And what I'm trying to say is that if we don't know what is right and what is wrong, we should. But I think that's what the trouble of America is, that we don't know what is right and what is wrong anymore. Why? Well, you remember when they threw Bible out of school? It used to be that at all the schools, they had something posted on the wall I don't know if you can see that one over there, but there's one over there. What is it called?
Ten Commandments.
10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Unethical.
Something simple as 10 basic laws that God has given to mankind to live the best life possible. And yet, we'll take and pick and choose which ones we will follow and which ones we will not. Okay, so what's the first one?
Idolatry. No other gods before me.
No God before me, right?
You shall have no other gods before me. Why did God say that? I mean, if God knew that He was the only God and there was no other God, why would He have to make a law about that?
We make things gods.
Huh?
We make things gods.
But why would He have to say that
From
to?
the future and the past, you see?
Think about it. Why did God have to make a law saying that I am the only God and you need to follow
Keep us
me?
in line.
Because He knew
New,
the people
create-
He created,
yeah.
right? He knew that we would mess up. So He had to give us a reminder of that there is only one God, that we should follow after Him. What's another one?
Don't swear, not name the Lord God in vain.
Don't take the name of the Lord our God in vain. Now, what does that mean? You can go ahead and close that door.
Oh, yes,
I
sir.
was thinking with the church right here.
In fact, why don't you turn that light so they can see?
Why do I got to do it?
Okay, what? We hear that, do not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. What does in vain mean?
Negative.
Yeah, to damn, maybe, vain.
What is vain? It's a root word for vanity
Yeah.
or pride, right? But when you take the Lord's name in vain, just like treating it like it was just nothing. How many of you have done that before?
I have.
Get upset.
I mean, how many people, have you heard say, well, Jesus Christ, or God,
Yeah.
She tells me constantly, quit.
That's like making God's name,
Mud.
yeah, nothing. And of course, we as human beings, because we don't want to use the Lord's name in vain, we'll use things like
God bless it.
gosh, geez, gosh is basically using the name God. And I know we can get real technical about all this stuff.
Darn.
But if we knew that the 10 Commandments and had that here, and we live that way, then we won't have to worry about the moral compass. Because our moral compass will be in our hearts. And that's what God tells us. He says that we should hide the Word of God in our hearts, that we might not sin against God. We will not stray against the target of living our lives for Him. So, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember the Sabbath. Oh boy. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. How many of you would say that you keep the Sabbath? Now, I hear a lot, even on my radio, that they say, well, today is Sunday, so remember to rest. Where in the scriptures do you see that Sunday is a day of rest? Can you find any place? What day is the day of rest?
Sunday.
And if you want to get technical, actually it started Friday evening,
Yeah.
right? But the thing is, the Sabbath is the Saturday, and we're supposed to keep it holy. And I think this is probably one of the hardest ones to keep for a lot of people. Honor thy father and thy mother. Respecting parents.